Welcome to Moms of the Lou, hosted by two fellow St. Louis moms, Rebecca
and Lauren,
and recorded for St. Louis moms.
Grab your laundry basket, kick your feet up for nap time, or head out the door for pickup, and spend a little time catching up with local moms who are making a big impact in St. Louis.
Let's dive into our discussion today.
This episode of the Moms of the Lou podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Arbor Fertility.
All right, St. Louis moms, we are back for another episode of Moms of the Lou. Today, we're joined by a really exciting guest. Sara Saul is the new Chief Strategy Officer at the Magic House. Welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast. So,
oh my gosh,
what an honor.
I know.
Yeah, seriously.
I feel honored and I'm kind of like, me? You want to talk to me? But thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so excited to have you. We have lots to talk about. You have a really cool story here in St. Louis, but maybe give us kind of the lay of the land. Are you from St. Louis? Tell us about your family.
Yeah, I am a St. Louis native. I grew up in Wentzville, so from the west side, St. Charles County, got to represent. But I went away to college to Missouri State, and then I came back because I love St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I always knew this is where I wanted to come back to, and started my career at Purina, where I really did 10 years in the corporate world. And then I was getting my MBA at the same time, met my husband at WashU, and we moved to the city. So moved to the city, definitely fell in love with Southampton, everything St. Louis, and continued to build my career from there.
I'm sure you clocked time at Ted Drew's while you were
Oh, yeah.
while you were there.
Oh, yeah. Ted Drew's, Francis Park, Russell's, very much a fan of all things in the city.
I love that. Are you still in the city now?
We actually just moved to Kirkwood 3 months ago.
Nice. Welcome.
So yeah.
Lauren and I are both Kirkwood moms. So.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's just been such a good transition. So I have a daughter, Blakely. She's 2. And we're expecting our second. I'm 8.5 months pregnant.
Oh
Yeah.
She doesn't look like
You
it,
cannot tell,
You guys-
by the way.
You guys are so
Beautiful.
kind. Thank you. Can we just hang out all the time? Because I feel it. I do feel it.
Of course, yeah.
But it was time for us to really figure out where are we going to settle down, where are we going to raise our family. And so moved to Kirkwood. It also aligned with my new role at the Magic House. And so I feel like from a universe perspective, all of the chips just started to fall into place.
Yeah, absolutely. Kirkwood is such a special place for families too. I feel that. Are you ready for farmers market season?
So I've been told that I need to prep. And so I don't know. I haven't been there yet, but I'm very excited. So if you guys have any tips, I will take them
just
all.
go.
Yeah.
Just go, enjoy.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
Saturday morning
Get
when
your
the food trucks are there.
Okay.
Get your produce. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And then you'll be ready for fall with the fall market, the fun zone and everything. It's so precious. It's sweet.
Good. I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking off air about how we just posted something for 314 Day about how moms, just a common theme we're seeing is that moms go away, but then they come back to St. Louis. And you said it's kind of like a magnet.
Yes.
So
that's how I've always thought of St. Louis is if you spend any time here, whether you grew up here or you came here to study for college, St. Louis just takes hold of you and grips you, right?
Yeah.
You fall in love with it. You fall in love with the people and the community, the culture. And so I've always thought of St. Louis as a magnet. You may go away, but it always pulls you back home. And I love that about that. Yeah.
Do you feel like you've seen it in a different light now that you've had your daughter?
I do. I really think that St. Louis is so family friendly, and I love to travel when I was younger. Traveled a lot with my corporate job. But I think one of the things that's really special about St. Louis is just how family friendly we are. We have so many phenomenal institutions. We have so many phenomenal, affordable options for families.
Free.
Yes, free. And it's just, you can't top that. And there's no other place I would want to raise my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
So talking about St. Louis institutions, before we get to the Magic House, because we're going to talk about that for sure, but you were at the Muni.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what you did there. I mean, that's just iconic. St. Louis summer and affordable, when you talk about the free seats.
Absolutely.
So I'd love to hear about your time there.
Yeah. Well, I think it all actually for me goes back to the pandemic because I started my career in the corporate world. I got my degree in marketing and I was like, I'm going to be in that corporate world. That was just the goal. I wanted to rise that ladder. And during the pandemic, I think I did what a lot of people did is I really took a moment to reflect and pause on what is it that I want in life at that point in time? We were not, my husband and I were just dating. We were not engaged at that point. And we were trying to figure out, well, what does life look like? I didn't know if I wanted to be a mom yet.
Yeah.
I was so focused on my career.
Yeah.
I'd lost my hobbies. I feel like I'd maybe even lost a little bit of myself. And so I've always loved theater. I was in theater as a kid, and I wanted to get back involved. And knowing that the theaters were hit especially hard during the pandemic, I started reaching out and volunteering. I joined the Muni Young Friends Board because I was really trying to fill up my own bucket again.
Good for you.
It's so important, right? Like,
yeah.
I feel like
You
it's
should
really
take
easy.
a step and realize how good that was.
Yeah. So that was something that was really intentional to me. And I'd say from being on the Young Friends Board and just being able to meet that team, I really started to learn more about the Muni, and it just so perfectly aligned with my passion and my strengths that they had an opening for the Director of Strategic Partnerships, which was working a lot with St. Louis corporations to help fund and support the Muni's mission.
Amazing.
So I was able to tie into my corporate background and then able to marry that ultimately with something that I was really passionate about, bringing musical theater free and accessible to everyone, especially in this community. And so it was a really meaningful shift, kind of that jump from the for-profit world to the non-for-profit world.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just so glad I took that jump and I trusted myself to go in and take that leap, because it's been so personally satisfying, and it's really put me on this career path that has just aligned my strengths with my passions, and then also allowed me to raise a family and have
your
time
family.
and have time to spend time on the things that matter to me. I have more hobbies now.
Yes. You came more back to yourself. And I think that's really something exciting when you can finally realize, like, and you know what, you're showing your daughter too. Like, I took a step back from what I thought I wanted to do, and I really jumped into something that maybe was a little scary.
Yeah.
And ultimately it paid off, and I think that's really special.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It feels good. It feels good. It's ultimately led me to the Magic House.
Yes. Let's talk about it. So you're 3 months in.
Yes.
So tell us, what exactly is your role as
Chief Strategy
Officer? Yeah.
Yes.
That's a mouthful.
It is.
Yeah. So I work with all the admin team, and we're really working to focus on making sure that the Magic House remains relevant and remains a cultural institution for St. Louis. From now until, the next 50 years. We were founded in 1979 by two phenomenal women. We're still run today by Beth Fitzgerald. She has worked with the Magic House since its inception.
Wow.
And so the Magic House is really a place where kids can play and learn at the same time. And there's this beauty in all of the exhibits that we create that really celebrates childhood development and celebrates learning through play. And one of the things that I love as a new mom is the Magic House is a place where, as a mom, I know I can take my daughter there and I feel like I've done a good thing for her. Like, yes, she's playing, but I know she's also playing in a way where she's building key skills that are going to last her a lifetime and really set her up for success in the long run. And so as the Chief Strategy Officer, I just help make sure that we are continuing to live that mission and create a place where all children are able to play and able to learn. I think we see screens are continuing to be on the rise, and we've seen some of potentially the negative impacts of screens on children. And so really getting back to that unstructured play and giving kids the space to be kids again is something that, as we look to the future, we just want to make sure that we're continuing to remain relevant for families, but also that we are still continuing to create that space for kids to really celebrate the magic of childhood and play together, play with families, play with other kids, and just really celebrate the magic of childhood.
Absolutely. My girls, I asked them, like, I get to talk to somebody that works at the Magic House today. And so I have a 10-year-old and an almost 8-year-old, and they by far love the art room. Just they always gravitate towards that. It's like there's something, it's just so open-ended.
Yes.
That's what I love about it. They come home with like this thing that they've made. I don't even know how to explain it. And they just, it's just there's no coloring sheets. It's just like open-ended. There's just markers and everything that you would need to create.
Yes.
And they just always go back to that. And it's like something that they have loved over time. And
Yeah, it's a space where they can be creative and be imaginative, and there are no rules, right? Like,
Right.
I think that's the fun thing about play is you get to do whatever you want, and it can be whatever you want. And I think that every experience at the Magic House is a little different too, because you can explore a new exhibit each time, or always go back to your favorites. And I think that's something that is really special.
Mother's Day can be joyful and complicated all at once. During National Infertility Awareness Week, Arbor Fertility wants families to know, we see you. If your journey to parenthood hasn't looked the way you imagined, you are not alone. Headquartered in Chesterfield with 7 locations serving families across St. Louis, mid-Missouri, and southern Illinois, Arbor Fertility is known for compassionate, concierge-style care, transparent pricing, and the most affordable fertility treatment options in the region. Led by double board certified fertility specialist, Dr. Shvetha Zarek, the team works closely with each patient to create personalized treatment plans designed around their unique goals. Whether you're exploring fertility for the first time or navigating a longer journey, Arbor Fertility is here to support you with answers, options, and hope. Learn more at arbor-fertility.com. On May 1st through 3rd, fans, new and old, can relive every iconic moment from the Marvel Cinematic Universe alongside the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra in this epic on-screen journey that includes 23 films in one momentous concert experience. Revisit the earliest days of Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor, each accompanied by their own unforgettable heroic music played by the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra, May 1st through 3rd. Tickets are available at slso.org.
Barron Sports is a family-owned, locally founded program serving families across multiple locations in Baldwin, South County, and O'Fallon, Missouri. Since its founding in 1978, Barron has offered a variety of youth programs including swim, gymnastics, dance, and ninja, all designed to build confidence, skills, and a love of movement. With expert instructors, small class sizes, and structured educational curriculums, Barron is known for its premium teaching and personalized approach that helps every child progress at their own pace. Programs begin as early as 4 months old and continue through the teen years, all within safe, clean, state-of-the-art learning environments built to inspire growth, confidence, and lifelong skills.
Something I love about the Magic House is it's so intentional in what kind of information we're sharing with kids. You know, it's like, hey, we're learning how the government works in a fun way.
Yeah.
Hey, we're learning about construction. We're learning about a symphony and how all the musical instruments work together. Or, hey, we're learning about other countries and cultures, you know? So it's not just like, hey, let's go build some blocks or play at a water table. It's like, hey, we're going to do this in a fun way, but we're introducing you to the world as a whole, you know?
So
absolutely. I mean, play is serious business. That's what I like to say. And I think that, you know, the job of childhood is to play.
Yeah.
And that is how kids really learn about their world, how they learn about interacting with other children. And so that's one of the things that I think the best thing that I try and remind myself to do is letting her play and letting her play in whatever way. If she wants to get messy, she can get messy. You know, there's part of me that's like, I need to go clean up all of the different toys that are all over the floor. But then it's like, you know what? No, like this is her job. She's exploring her world.
Totally.
She is playing with all the things. And it's been really fun to build a career around play as an adult.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think it also reminds me, like, I now have permission to play. And I would say for every mom listening, for every parent, like giving ourselves permission to play with our kids is so rewarding as a mom.
I needed that reminder.
Yeah, I know.
My
it's true.
18-month-old found my mascara this morning. Playing with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was some learning there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that Lauren and I got to do, it was last year, right? That was such like a pinch me moment was we got to see the warehouse.
Oh my
where
gosh,
the
yes.
exhibits are stored. And that
Yes.
blew my mind. I think when you go and you see an exhibit, you don't realize
The thought.
the thought and the
work.
intentionality that goes into it and how it gets there. You know, you're like, oh, somebody just dropped it off.
And the practice that
Yes.
goes into it. Yeah.
yes.
That
That was incredible.
I so appreciate you mentioning that because I think that's something too that just continues to make the Magic House really special is we build all of our own exhibits. And so to be able to know that we have a phenomenal team to design an exhibit that is not only rooted in learning and childhood development and play, but to be able to create these exhibits for our community is really, really special.
And it keeps it fresh and new and different and new every season too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, so before Lauren's got some rapid fire St. Louis questions for you, which is always something I love. What's something that you would love to see happen at the Magic House during your tenure here? So like a big, maybe 3-5 year dream.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I will start maybe a little bit shorter term from that.
Yeah, go.
One of the things that I'm very excited about is this summer we are going to rewind and play a little bit. And so just a little hint is that there's going to be some really fun things coming to the Magic House this summer. Think nostalgia. I'd say if you're a parent today, you will probably feel very nostalgic about some of the things that we have coming down the pipe for this summer. So
I'm thinking like VHS.
Okay, yeah, like that's maybe the right decade.
Okay,
so
nice.
we're
Nice.
We really want to celebrate the magic of a 90s summer, and so I think
love
that
that.
is something that we are really excited about in the short term is how we can, just celebrate the simpler times and then maybe like those simpler days. I think we all know when we say 90s summer, it creates very vivid, nostalgic memories for us as
Freedom.
parents.
Freedom.
And so
freedom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're really going to capture that and celebrate that and really make sure that we incorporate that into our Magic House experience. So come this summer for sure.
Oh, we'll be
yes.
there. You
Yeah.
know we will.
Yeah.
We'll be at Sandcastle
Yeah.
It's a
Beach.
summer staple.
Yes, we love, oh my gosh, Sandcastle Beach is
The
so
best.
fun. So definitely come by.
Yeah.
Sprinklers, all of that.
All of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a few rapid fire questions.
Yeah.
Feel free to answer with one word, a phrase.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. All right. Mom life right now feels
Being pregnant,
yeah
tough.
Yeah.
Tough. But also joyful.
joyful. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that. All right. What's your favorite place to get a sweet treat in St.
Ooh.
Louis?
I would have to say Russell's Cafe.
Oh,
yeah. Give me a pastry any day. So
We were just talking about their gooey butter
Gooey
cake
butter
yesterday.
cake.
yeah.
It's
Their
The best.
carrot cake, phenomenal,
Ooh, I love
especially
it.
with Easter coming up. Best carrot cake in St. Louis.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite toddler hot spot for you right now?
The Magic House.
Okay. Favorite coffee shop?
Ooh, favorite coffee shop, Taleo.
Oh, you're right there. Right
Yes.
there.
The best.
Good.
Yes.
Mhm.
I love that. Well, that's enough for me.
Wait, I have one more.
Oh, okay.
Favorite date night spot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love sushi. So
Mm.
Sato is
So good.
so
good.
good. And I am counting down the days until
You're
baby
almost
number
there.
2 arrives. And then we will, first date night will absolutely be Sato.
Celebration.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Sarah. I know you're a busy mom, so we appreciate you chatting with us
Yeah.
and excited to see what's going to happen at
Thank
the
you.
Magic
Yeah,
House
looking
under
forward to the
your
summer.
tenure. So
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it. And thank you guys for creating this podcast for other moms. It's so helpful and just so nice to know that we're not alone in this.
No.
we are not.
No.
All right, St. Louis moms, we will catch you on our next episode.
This episode of the Moms of the Lou podcast was brought to you by our sponsor, Arbor Fertility.
Thanks for listening to Moms of the Lou. We hope it encouraged you and put a pep in your step and helped you get to know our community a little bit better. Be sure to find us on Instagram, st.louis_mom. You can find us on Facebook, St. Louis Mom. You can find us on our website, www.stlouismom.com. In case nobody else tells you today, you're a great mom and you're doing a great job. Chat with you next time.